everybody, Gina DeLuca here. Okay, I am currently obsessed with these spiral straight pours that are giving me these perfect Fibonacci centers. So I'm going to do another one of those in a brown color palette. And these colors together, when they blend and create those bolder cells, they look very 3D. You know, because basically we have like our deepest tone and our mid-tone and our light tone, and when they blend together, you have highlights and shadows. It gives it a very cool 3D effect. I like to use a base coat or background color that is darker. Well, actually, you can do it with a lighter background too and still get that very 3D effect. It's just a different effect. Maybe I should do a video on that, how those colors play together. But the colors that we're using, Van Dyke Brown by Arteza. And let me tell you, this stuff, a little goes a long way, for sure. I already covered my edges, and this stuff, a little goes a long way. We have the Decoart Americana Decor Metallics in aged bronze, the Decoart Americana Decor Metallics in rose gold, and the matte metallics in ivory pearl. So this will create a nice 3D effect, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, if things go according to plan, because that's what always happens in fluid art, doesn't it? But that's what we're doing today. These paints have been mixed, 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol. And that mix is then thinned with my concoction of 90% water, 10% Floetrol, until I get this here consistency. It's about a 2 on my consistency scale. It does make a mound, but it disappears pretty quickly. Runs off in a nice thin stream off of my little stirring stick here. Before we get started, have you seen the fluid art inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards. Each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube. This is the picture of the painting in that video. This box contains a tip for that particular technique, and here at the bottom we have the color palette used in that particular painting. And then these 2 boxes can be used together as the basis of a 2-color palette. You can build off of those colors. And there's also 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. Mix and match the technique cards with the bonus palettes, and you have more combinations than you could ever paint in a lifetime. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also on amazon.com. Before I lay down my base coat, I like to put some of my background paint in my cup, just to be sure that I have some, just in case I pour too much on for my base coat, which I have done once or twice. Get a little heavy-handed. And I try to reserve some in the cup to put on top of my pouring cup. So the reason I cover the edges first is because these paints are mixed pretty thin, and they're mixed with Floetrol, which kind of has a tendency to not stick to the edges quite as well as a stickier medium, like something that has a glossier finish, like Liquitex or Golden. It's a very different finish. Floetrol dries matte, but I believe it is something in it that has those matte properties that lends itself to making these magical cells. The whole theory behind my boulder pours, the way that the cells are created is my cell making paints, so in this case the Decoart paints, are matte. They dry matte. Even if it says satin finish, it still dries matte. More matte than the Arteza paint. Arteza paints, so far, all of the ones that I have used have done really, really well in the straight pours. They react beautifully with the Decoart paints. And I am an affiliate of both Decoart and Arteza, so do check out the affiliate link in the description box. And there are discount codes there, and you use the discount code and I get a small commission at no additional cost to you. Okay, always check your consistency before pouring in your cup. The sauce may thicken upon standing. I pour from up high because I want the paints to sink. I want these cell makers to sink so they have the opportunity to pop up through that other color. It can't create a cell if it doesn't have the other paints to react to. If I do a painting with nothing but cell makers, I won't get cells. I need that paint for it to react with, what I call the background color. Because the cells come forward, and so it has the appearance of your background color is sinking. And typically at the end of my cup I get a bit of whatever the last color that I put in. So I always like to keep that in mind so I have contrast in the center. Okay, now I'm just gonna pour some of this on top. Give it that paint to react with. Okay, let's make a mess, shall we? I'm going to pour, I'm gonna pour quicker, spin slower, and I'm spinning clockwise. As I get towards the end of the cup, I will get closer to the canvas. Gives me more control. Spinning very slowly now. This really helps to accentuate that spiral. If you go too quickly, you just get rings. Not a bad way to do a ring pour. It looks very cool, but that's not what I'm going for. And then here comes the bottom of the cup where I have that ivory pearl. I want to make sure that I get like at least 1.5 turns in that center. Okay. I wanted to make sure I had a nice Fibonacci going there. All right. So far, so good. I need to keep it moving because this is not a level work area. My painting is leveled to my table, but not to the spinner. My table, my workspace is not level, so it's different all over the place. So as I let this sit and develop, cells will pop up. Let your paint puddle percolate. And as the cells pop up, they will get bigger because these paints have a hydrophobic effect when used with a glossier paint. It pushes the other paints away. The bubbles will keep popping up, and you just keep popping them. And the bubbles that are coming from the layers that are underneath, they are rising to the top, and when you pop them, they create cells because it's bringing some of that paint with it, and that paint, because it has that hydrophobic effect, is pushing the other paints away. You get a cell, and then when you spin it or tilt it, stretch it, your cells get bigger and you get those boulder cells. We'll see if I get any boulder cells. It's not kind of looking like I'm getting what I had envisioned. We'll see. All right, it looks like my edges are getting a little set up. It's drying very quickly. And just give it a little extra love there. Patience is so important here. It's very easy to just want to spin it and see what you get, but your chances of getting a better prize go up if you're patient. I know. You want to spin it so badly. I do too. Patience is the one thing that I see most, like one of my most common comments most frequent comments is that people need to work on their patience. I need to work on my patience. There is no better way to do that than to sit here and wait for cells to pop up so you can stretch them. It will definitely test your patience. All right. Well, I don't think any boulder cells are going to happen. I mean, there might be a few around there, but that might get tilted off. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It can look very different once it stretches out, so we'll see. Let's give this a spin. And you don't have to spin fast. When I spin, it never goes off of these two pieces of paper that I have here. It does not need to hit your walls. Another thing too, if you spin slower, you can kind of keep an eye on what's happening. If you need to make adjustments. So this is not giving me the perfect spiral that I was hoping for, that I so love. It just didn't come out right out of the cup for that. And you see, even if you spin slowly, it will still get there. All right, let's give these corners a little bit of help. So I'm just taking some of the drips and putting a little more juice on that corner. I mean, you can almost get like a design that you can just keep. It's kind of like those swipe transfer type things, but I am still going to stretch it. Okay. I'm going to give these sides a little bit of love. I'm just kind of pulling the paint down where it hasn't gone on its own. I find that rolling it down the canvas kind of makes it look more like it happened organically. Oh geez, what did I just do? Oh, ye of no depth perception. No biggie, it's fixed. All right. Well, I am going to let this sit and do what it's going to do. I don't know that I want to stretch it anymore. I want to keep that. Okay, back in a few. Okay, here it is. It is not spiral perfection like I was hoping for. It is not boulder cells like I was hoping for. But that center kind of looks like a butterfly. I'm not mad at that. The lines are pretty. It is sparkly. I don't hate it. Just not as in love with it. But there it is. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you are on TikTok, please do follow me over there. I'm trying to get enough folks following so I can go live. I would love to do some brushwork live over there. And also check the description box below for the affiliate links and coupon codes. It still has a lot of depth. It's just not what I was going for. And you can see that corner, that's where I docked up that corner. Still looks cool. Looks like molten metal. Also in the description box you will find my PayPal tip jar, if you feel so inclined. And you will find the link to my website, GinaDeLuca.net. And last but certainly not least, you will find the link to our Facebook group, Go Make Some Art. Join us there. Ask your questions. Post your masterpieces. Get some inspiration. A good time is had by most. It is the internet after all. You know how that goes. But that is it for me for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.